FYF Sports, man, it's Lamont. We back with another podcast video. Bring you just news, notes, and updates. Specifically news, notes, and updates on the NBA. Just some good news coming out the league. Trade information, player movement, draft information. So we're going to touch on all that information here in a second. But before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. We are grinding to 20K. All right, we're eking along. We're getting to 16K right now. So we appreciate all of the Facebook members. We appreciate all of the members of the blog pages. We appreciate all of the YouTube subscribers. We appreciate you guys for actively watching all of the videos, engaging in all the content, sharing the videos, and doing everything that it takes to continue to make this channel grow. Appreciate all of the donors and the current sponsors of the channel. All right, so we appreciate you guys for helping carry this channel along, helping us get to where we are right now. The growth of this channel has been unbelievable, and it's all to you guys. So again, my job is to continue to put out quality content. That's what I'm going to continue to do. All right, was unsuccessful at finding a co-host that can kind of help me, with a lot of the workload. That's fine, though. I'll take it on myself. When the right person comes along, we'll know it. But until then, it's just going to be me with FYF Sports. We're going to continue to grind to give you guys the real information, not the fake news that you might see other places. But today we got, we're going to start it off by talking about a team that I've been really, really curious on what they're going to do going into the offseason. And it's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers, man. The Los Angeles Lakers have reportedly agreed in principle to a deal that will send Danny Green to the OKC Thunder and a pick for Dennis Schroeder. All right, now the Lakers are set to complete this deal when the trade window opens Monday, November 16th. And man, I thought, we had actually predicted this trade. When you look at our NBA trade predictions video, we predicted this trade, but I didn't think they would be able to pull this trade off without giving up something. I thought that Kuzma would actually be a part of this trade as well. And luckily, I think this is a deal that definitely comes out heavily in the favor of the Los Angeles Lakers, at least for the short term. Or maybe in the long term, it might pan out money-wise, works out better for OKC. But in the foreseeable future, with regards to putting another veteran, experienced guard that can play the 1, 2, or 3 alongside LeBron James, I think the Lakers have a gem right here. This is a gem of a pick. This was a guard that was highly sought after from multiple teams. And I think Schroeder, was desperate to get on the team in contention. You could see the frustration at times on his face in OKC. Even though they were a good team, they weren't a great team. And they struggled at times against some of the top teams. And you could see and sense his frustration. And one thing about Schroeder is he's going to give it all, night in and night out. He might not be the perfect player, but he's going to give you hard-nosed defense. He's going to compete, and offensively, he's going to be able to do everything that you need a player to do, whether he has to play the 1, 2, or 3. And I think, maybe if you go with a small ball lineup, he can play the 3. He's a little bit small to be a 3, but he can defend at that level. So I think this was a great pickup. Obviously, Danny Green with the injuries, he had some hip and back issues. He did not look the same. His jump shot wasn't falling as consistently. And I think that, with the potential of losing guys like Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo, and KCP, it was an immediate need to fill. You have to fill that void. And you can really soften the blow of losing those guys by bringing a guy in like Dennis Schroeder, who's going to bring an instant impact to this team on the offensive and defensive end of the court, man. All right, we got some other news today, man. More disappointing news, actually. I don't know all the details of this story, so I really don't know how damaging it is. But Cleveland Cavaliers guard Kevin Porter Jr. was arrested. He was arrested on weapons charges. Now, the specific allegations say that he was improperly handling a firearm in his vehicle, according to the Mahogany County Sheriff records. He was released on a $4,000 bond. And, obviously they say he has an attorney. His attorney is Alex Spiro. In an email sent to the Associated Press, he says, he was issued a summons for a petty offense. And that's what they're labeling it as a petty offense. So I'm assuming if they're labeling it as a petty offense, he probably was licensed to carry and just maybe was improperly carrying it. Maybe it wasn't in a holster. I'm not particularly sure of the gun laws in Ohio. But this is something that we're going to have to allow to play out in court. With Kevin Porter Jr., I think he just needs to tread carefully with what he's doing. He lost a lot of draft stock in last year's draft, primarily due to off-the-court issues. And this is just an off-the-court issue that just raises another red flag for the Cleveland Cavaliers, where last year he actually had a decent season, averaging 10 points a game, 3 rebounds and 2 assists in 50 games. He had a few breakout games, but when given the opportunity, he was a really good player. I think he can be one of those guys that, maybe averages 15 to 20 points a game in this league. He's a very talented player, and I really hope that this, off-the-court incident just kind of goes away and is not really brought in by other criminal issues or criminal allegations. So, again, you players, we spoke about this in our live stream yesterday. We spoke about players carrying guns, and when you talk to a guy like Elder Rufus and LVZ NBA Talk, these guys feel that there are certain teams that players don't want to go to because of the violence in those cities and the threats that these players can face as targets because of the amount of money that they make. And so it doesn't surprise me that Kevin Porter Jr. Was carrying a gun. That doesn't surprise me. And when with how rappers and entertainers have been getting targeted lately, whether it's just sheer violence or whether it's to rob and steal and kill from them, these players have to think of themselves and their family first. So I don't really have an issue with him carrying a firearm. I just, you guys know as athletes, you're not just easy targets for people on the streets. You're also going to be targets for bad policing. And again, I'm not talking about all police, because not all police are this way, but there are police who will look for every inch or every petty thing that they can find just so they could get you in a jail cell behind bars. So Kevin Porter Jr. arrested, released on bond. Hopefully this is a charge that he can potentially get dropped. But as it stands now, this is something that the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have to play by ear. All right, last story today is, we got James Harden, man. Ever since Stephen Silas has gotten hired to coach the Houston Rockets, man, we've heard so many different things. Whether it's chatter, coming from the rumor mill, or whether it's chatter supposedly coming from the inside of the organization. But ever since Stephen Silas has gotten hired, we've heard that James Harden doesn't want to be there. James Harden potentially getting traded to the Sixers. Russell Westbrook announced he doesn't want to be there. Russell Westbrook's on the trade block, maybe going to the Knicks. But then on the flip side of that, we have, Russell Westbrook, who comes out and says that these stories that he doesn't want to be there are completely fabricated. The Houston Rockets organization came out and made a statement to Adrian Wojnarowski yesterday that they're looking to move forward next season as is with both of their stars and James Harden and Russell Westbrook. It's hard to really determine what's true, what's false. Where's this information coming from? How credible is it? We continuously hear all of these different stories. And one of the biggest stories that came about was a story that broke over the last 48 hours. The Brooklyn Nets sending James Harden potentially to the Nets. And they even went as far as saying that he's given the Nets a list of potential trade destinations where he would like to go. So again, I don't know how accurate this is, but it was reported by Adrian Wojnarowski, Ramona Shelburne, and Zach Lowe. Those are three pretty credible news outlets when it comes to the NBA. So again, it's really a tough situation for Silas. I know, one of the reasons why he was intrigued about this job with the Rockets was because they had Russell Westbrook and James Harden. I don't think he wanted to go into a team where they would be going instantly into a rebuild. where you don't have a James Harden and you're bringing in younger players and draft picks, and this is what we're now building up. And you obviously, if you trade a guy like James Harden, you're not going to get equal value. All right. Same thing with Russell Westbrook and his massive contract with multiple years left. You trade a guy like that, you're not going to get equal value. You're only going to lose. It took a lot to bring him in. It's going to take a lot to move him out. You're going to have to sacrifice some stuff. But, for many, the major aspect of this and the major thing that has social media going crazy over the weekend was the potential for James Harden getting traded to the Brooklyn Nets to join Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And that's big. Now, again, it's one of those big threes that sound good, but that's a really, really odd mix of personalities and a really, really odd mix of talent, because you're dealing with two players who are ball dominant, Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Are there enough shots for those two guys? We're dealing with a really, really sensitive player in Kevin Durant, where when the wind blows or when he hears reports in the media or when he hears this or that, his stress and his anxiety takes him to new levels. And so we don't know, is his personality going to be destructive in that potential setting over there? So I think that team has a lot of questions to answer, on top of the fact that they have a very odd coaching structure where you have Amari Stoudemire over there along with Steve Nash, but then you also have Mike D'Antoni, a former head coach, as their assistant. It's a very, very odd mix of talent from the top down. I just don't know if that's the best situation that James Harden wants to join. Now, one thing that we do know is James Harden is, as good as he is individually, he's not a number one guy on the championship team. You need your number one guy on the championship team to do a little bit more to affect both ends of the court. We know James Harden gives you everything that you need on the offensive end, but at the same time, he's so ball dominant, it takes away from what other guys can do. And Mike D'Antoni was allowed him to be that ball dominant. I don't know if he could enjoy a role where, for example, with Brooklyn, where he's touching the ball 80% less. Could he be effective in less dribbles? Could he be effective with less touches? Could he be effective with less shots? That's something that has yet to be seen, especially with what we've seen from James Harden over the years since he's joined the Houston Rockets. So, it's looking like the Nets could have another big three. They've came out and already stated that building another big three is something that they're looking to do. They have the pieces on that roster to build that. They have guys like Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie, who are highly sought after. You still got Jared Allen, a great rim protector. You got Joe Harris that you could use in a sign and trade. They have Taurean Prince. They have a number of pieces that they could use to create and craftily create a great offer for a team to bring in one of these players without giving up so much that your roster and your bench is completely hamstrung. But again, I want you guys to, I don't want to speculate on this too much, mainly because I'm hearing too many things from too many different directions. The Rockets organization, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, the press, other YouTube pages, everyone has their own angle on this as regards to what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. Right as it stands, right, only thing I can do is wait till Monday hits. And once that trade date hits, then we'll see what's really going on, what's real, what's fake. And I think we should, especially if you're a contending team, I think the focus should be on guys like Danilo Gallinari and Jeremy Grant. Those are the guys that are going to make the difference on championship teams. My questions are, is Danilo Gallinari, is he looking to sign with the Heat? Is he looking at another place? Rajon Rondo, is he potentially going to stay with the Lakers? Can that work? Will he leave? Markieff Morris are both the twins. What are they going to do? All right, are the Clippers are they going to sign all those guys back? They have limited options. They have limited options with what they can do in free agency. Are they looking to make a move? Are they probably going to do a sign and trade with Montrezl Harrell? All right, so that they could bolster that bench back up. Because as it stands right now, the last time we seen those guys play, they looked old. They looked lethargic. They look, unenthused. I think that they need an energy shift in that locker room, and I think they need to, for one, answer all of those problems that they have on the bench over there. But you guys, let me know what you think. What stories do you want to hear about? We'll be going live today as well. So if there's something that I missed in today's show, make sure you guys hit us up. when we go live, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right. So today, that time may change. As I said in another video, I'm thinking about pushing the live stream times later in the evening, maybe till about 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is going to be a little later for you guys in the Midwest and the East Coast. I think we'll try it. We'll try it once or twice this week just to see how it adapts. But I've just had so many people inquire about the lives, but they're still at work or they're just getting home. And they just don't have enough time to get in and really enjoy the show the way they want to. But you guys can help me out by letting me know what you prefer in the comments of this video. And again, matter of fact, if you comment and let me know what time works best for you, we'll put your name in an entry for $100 Cash App giveaway. All right, $100 Cash App giveaway. We'll do the drawing on Friday, but I'll give you guys a free entry if you just comment in the comments what time works best for you. Is it the 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time going live or the 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time going live? And that insight helps me. It also gives you opportunity to win some cash. Hey, but it's FYF Sports. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. We grinding to 20K. We're going to continue with the news videos. We're going to continue with the NBA news this week. As it heats up with the NBA, we're going to be on top of all the news. Make sure you're there with us live on November 18th. We're going to be doing the NBA draft live here on FYF Sports. NBA draft here live on FYF Sports. Tune in to watch us do the draft live. All right. Enjoy that experience with us. We're going to be doing cash giveaways as well that same day. We're also going to be having some contests for the second round. If you can pick the guys getting drafted in the second round along with us, all right, you could be a winner. Hey, but it's FYF Sports, man. It's been another great podcast video.
This open letter to my supporters. I want to thank y'all for still supporting. Plug prices right, I'm trying will a fortune. This for all my pain and misfortunes. Can't leave a stone unturned, I'm pouring on my heart. This my confessions like Usher, hustle from the start. The dynasty I put together, one and torn apart. Whenever my back is a wall, I always fought. My life on the line, took risks for the fam. Just wanna earn the respect from my peers, I'm a man. Had a 9 to 5, then hit the trap, switch up the plans. Got millionaire dreams, with access to them bands. What I made in 2 weeks can make an hours just saying. Had to build my foundation with the plug cause I jam. Long as the sales call and spin, I don't give a damn. The pain that I got, you'll never understand. Remember being lost, trying to find my purpose when against the odds. This shit on purpose. Wanna level up on niggas, get my bitch a Birkin. Big risk, big rewards, keep my options open. Fuck being a nobody, need to be relevant. Need to coupe a trunk in the front like an elephant. Throwing money bags like yo in a different element. Talent and the hustlers mental what God bless me with. The moves I made was all pivotal. Dreams I'm critically acclaimed, raised with the criminals. Maximize the scope, the haters wanted minimal. For every minute that I gave, I felt the ridicule. Like Usher, nigga, these my confessions. Been through the ups and downs, I'm battle tested. Trying to move my family out the hood off investments. Lyrically paint art, I'm getting better every session. Yeah, this open letter to my supporters. I wanna thank y'all for still supporting. Plug prices right, I'm trying will a fortune. This for all my pain and misfortunes. Can't leave a stone unturned, I'm pouring on my heart. It's my confessions like Usher, hustle from the start. The dynasty I put together, one and torn apart. Whenever my back is a wall, I always fought. I'm a product of my pain and my misfortunes. Mama gave birth to a prince, said I'm important. Race that never show weakness, step before dishonor. What you give out to the world, come back, that's karma. Had rough patches, did dirt for that dirty money. Free my niggas, long live the real, don't owe us nothing. That's why I'm plugged in, keep a hold of something. Expect the unexpected, never know when it's coming. Keep it real with the people, how I build my base. Reach the masses with my pain, somehow they relate. It's still trap, I die till I'm at my weight. Thumbing through the check, give me the shakes. My pockets running over, always need my quota. Pistol in the holster, I'm kinda antisocial. My focus entrepreneurship, won't be a mogul. Retain mobility, Spiffy gon' be mobile. Lift every voice when I sing, gon' be vocal. Waiting for shit in transit, remember being postal. Dash your alphabet, boys, keep eye out for locals. I'm international, Spiffy can't be local. Think they surfboard is how they try and ride waves. Some people put trust in me, I'll take it to my grave. Felt like I walk on water ever since I got paid. The diesel boom can jack the prices up on the haze.